Well, this isn't too worrying at all. I mean, local councils right now are going through a massive funding crisis throughout all the UK, but it seems to get even worse, which I think calls something back into question, which um this was a number of years ago now. I can't remember exactly who it was. I think it was Gordon Brown initially said it um, in a constitutional review um, should happen. Like how we should look at how councils should be run and can we improve them? Because like the governing body of how like councils have run has not changed since the Victorian era. And we on this channel do talk a lot all the time about how we need to change the voting system. I think that would be a big improvement for the UK as a whole. I think the House of Lords needs to be massively reformed and changed into sort of a votable body. But I also don't think we should ignore the fact of local councils. Maybe we need to have a look at them, see how they are running. Do we need to sort of maybe change up how you know the local councils sort of operate and councillors are elected, what powers they should have be involved with? And one of the things I have also advocated for on this channel is pay your councillors. Like local councillors should get a wage, because if local councillors are being paid, they're less likely to, commit corruption. Just, saying, guys, might be a good idea, probably something we should look into. But we're going to have a look into this because this honestly shocks me, because it indicates really a bad level of corruption at local levels, which has happened over the past decade, which has gone largely ignored and largely unreported. And of course, we've talked about the big problems going on at at the Teessides Valley, and the massive, strange, financial accounts that appeared. Make no mistake, was Ben Houcher said, "Oh, what this exonerates me." The MP came out very recently and said, "No, this doesn't. They have been put into special measures to find out and investigate what's going on." So it really does look like that Ben Houchen's days are possibly quite numbered as being mayor of Tees Valley. But let's take, of course, a bigger look into this, because this honestly really quite shocking. But before we do get into that, please remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button down below. Links to my Patreon page, the one donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee, the YouTube thank you button, and of course the Pony Club as well down below. Let's take a look, shall we? So this comes from The Guardian with the title of "Lawyers Raise Alarm at Struggle to Tackle UK Local Government Corruption." So lawyers have now raised an alarm at the lack of oversight in local government, as a Guardian analysis has found almost 1 in 10 councils, 1 in 10 councils in the UK have been subject to corruption investigations in the past decade. Across the UK, 36 local authorities have had councillors and staff accused of economic crimes, including fraud and misuse of public funds, with dozens arrested and convicted. Many other councils are being scrutinised for potential financial mismanagement, including to the huge losses in council funds. One of those is, of course, Thurrock Council, which have recklessly put hundreds of millions of pounds into commercial investments when an accountant is being investigated by the Financial Reporting Council. Again, crazy when you hear about some of this stuff that does go on in local government, but we should probably have a look at this and think maybe it's not just national government we should look at how we can do things better, but at a local level as well. So Rachel McCoy, the president of the Lawyers in Local Government, said that they had raised the concerns about the complete lack of sanctions to help keep local authorities in check and clamp down on misbehavior, saying, "We just don't have any effective sanctions regime in this country. The government says the sanction is at the ballot box, but that does not help if there's a rotten persuasive behaviors that create toxicity in a council," she said. In a recent report on the role of monitoring offences, the person responsible for the legal governance of each council found that they are often powerless, even when dealing with proven cases of rule breaking, including serious, harmful, and criminal actions by councillors or staff. So just imagine that for a moment, that if you are in charge of legal governments in your council, you are effectively powerless, even in like proven cases. Like I cannot stress how this shocked me when I first saw this and read through this. It's like, and the thing is though, there are a lot of people out there that will go, we've known our local council is corrupt for years. But in some cases where people are saying that, there's no evidence of that. Now, yes, as we can see here, turns out does happen. But now we're seeing that actually they're really powerless to sanction these people or to, as we said, even investigate on some of this stuff. And these people who go on and say, etc. Well, what's your solution? Do we empower these legal governance bodies? Do we have to set up a like independent police unit that sort of covers like more white collar crime or stuff like that within the government? You know, I think that's honestly what we are going towards, and probably something that we might need. Um, but yeah, it's it's honestly really worrying that it's 1 in 10 councils. Really worrying that it's 1 in 10 councils. So, under the current sanctions, councillors can be barred from cabinet, committees, or representative roles and be removed from their political party for wrongdoing, with criminal matters referred to the police. Monitoring offences need teeth. They all need sanctions, said Ms. McCoy, adding that the increasingly toxic cultures within councils were pushing monitoring officers out of the industry, saying, "We've got no real proper protections. If you're in this station, then when you're trying to speak truth to power, you are really vulnerable," she said. Again, probably why, again, people have been getting away with corruption. If they feel like that they have no protection when they are trying to expose this stuff or bring some stuff to light, it's not really that helpful when you've almost got nothing to sort of help back you up on this. So, one of the most high profile corruption scandals in recent years was at Liverpool City Council, where a number of officials were arrested after allegations of bribery and witness intimidation linked to building deals in the city. Each of the individuals denied the allegations. The government commissioned a report and found as much as £100 million, £100 million, that's how much this is costing us, of public money could have been squandered by, quote, dysfunctional councils, and that senior councils flouted the code of conduct by not declaring gifts or hospitality on registered interests. In 2022, 4 men at Lancashire County Council were charged in an investigation into allegations of financial irregularity relating to a £5 million contract. Each of them, of course, denied the allegations. In other cases, council staff have also been convicted and, in some cases, imprisoned for corrupt behaviour. A boss in Surrey Council was also was jailed in 2019 for stealing almost £94,000 from taxpayer-funded hardship schemes from A former council worker was also sentenced to prison last year for stealing almost £1 million from Birmingham City Council. And Derbyshire City Council employee was suspended and sentenced for claiming over £90,000 worth of vouchers from a charity scheme to help children living in poverty. Again, really shocking that honestly this happens, but of course it does happen. But when it gets reported, it's really kind of shocking when you see that. I mean, my God, there needs to be really something done at this, and I think really looked at what we can do to sort of improve councils. I really do think that is a case for this. So in October, a senior officer at Newham Council was charged after being accused of plundering 250 million 250,000 pounds to spend on laptops, phones, and tablets for himself. He has pleaded not guilty. Meanwhile, a fraud investigation is now underway at Bolton Council after close to £1 million of its budget could not be accounted for. Again, really shocking. Um, serious cases of criminal corruption at councils are still relatively rare, to Jonathan Carr of the Local Government Information Unit. But there are concerns about the ability to ensure that councils are well run and that people are behaving properly. Our ability to hold councils account to day on a day-to-day level, making sure appropriate decisions are being made, the right questions are being asked, ensuring that councils are conforming to legal and regulatory duties. This is where the pressures is in a way, and this where it hasn't been before, he said. And it's because councils now have less money. Everything is to do what is happening in a very more stretched shoestring fashion than it once was. Ed Hammond, the Deputy Chief Executive of the Centre for Government and Scrutiny, said that the problem has been compounded by the failure of the local audits market, saying that we've all seen these instances recently where bad financial governance has led to local authorities falling. And it's a lot of this has been because of failures in behavior and culture, he said. Councils have all got external auditors now, but it is failing. The system is just not working. And they are meant to be other systems as well as providing oversight, but the behaviors aren't there to support them to work. So, even though there are seemingly now systems in place, they're clearly not working. And it's how do we get that to work? As you saw at the top, you know, it's because councils have less money. Everything to do that is happening is in a more stretched shoestring fashion than it once was. That could be leading to more, potential corruption cases here. Now they've said it is rare, but when it does happen, it is still kind of shocking for this stuff to, come to light. Um, Almost all councils in England, 99% of them, again, this is really shocking, 99% of them failed to get their the 2020 to 2023 financial accounts signed off by auditors by the deadline of last year. And more than 900 sets of accounts for councils and other public bodies going back to 2017 remain unaudited. So, a spokesperson of the Department of Levelling Up Housing Communities said that we are committed to ensuring accountability and scrutiny across local government, and that monitoring officers are also equipped with powers to robustly tackle breaches of conduct, including barring councils from cabinet, committees, or representative roles. Well, we've already heard at the top that they really don't have the power in a lot of cases, and they aren't protected should they uncover such, corruption. While councils are, of course, ultimately responsible for their own finance, um, we will not hesitate to intervene and protect taxpayers' money where they do not meet high standards that we set. So effectively, current government saying you're going to do nothing about it. Fantastic. Um, yeah. Probably again something that we need to talk about how we can make councils better, how we can improve them. It's not just a case of national government. In this case, it's what can we do to get local governments to run better. It's a valid question. I think that has probably been going on for quite a while, and maybe there are ways that we can reform, local councils and how they run, and making sure that these auditors do have the power and the protections that they need to be able to do their job properly. Because if you've got policemen on the beat, there's less likely a robber's gonna take action on the street. um that's weird saying. But yeah, it is a problem. It is a problem. Let's not deny it. Although it is, as I said, a rare problem. But nevertheless, it is a problem, and something that we should sort of be concerned about if it's 1 in 10 councils that this is potentially happening to. Um, so, as always, let me know what you think down below. Do you know what we could do to sort of help councils? How we can help do this in this way? I'd love to hear what you've got to say on this. So, as always, thank you very much for watching, and of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.